Good Thursday morning, and thanks for joining us from the Ohio AgNet, voice you know with the news you trust studio, sponsored by BASF, where the performance of Veltima fungicide can take your best results even further. Well, with light rain falling, I have 64 degrees out on the barn thermometer. It's a much cooler feel to the air this morning than it has been the last several days. I'm going to be heading up to Wauseon and the Fulton County Fairgrounds for the North American Manure Expo. This is day number 2. Yesterday was filled with tours and a trade show. Today that trade show continues along with educational sessions, and if the weather cooperates, equipment demonstrations this afternoon. A couple quick calendar reminders powered by Soy Biodiesel. Dale will be headed to Findlay for midday today to the Hancock County Fairgrounds, the Northwest Ohio Antique Machinery Steam Show taking place today through August the 3rd. Tomorrow you can catch up with Dale as he'll be broadcasting back down at the Ohio State Fair, the Junior Market Hog Show taking place. That coverage thanks to Kalmbach Feeds. And then on Monday, the Access County Fair Seed Tour resumes with a stop taking place out in Holmes County. Dale will be presenting a check to the Holmes County Junior Fair Board. And then on Tuesday, we'll be getting an update from the Ohio Corn and Wheat Growers Association. Let's get an update now from the Ohio Soybean Council. Joining me today is Susan Watkins. Susan, a soybean farmer in Virginia, currently serving as Secretary of the United Soybean Board and Chair of the Demand Action Team. Susan, looking ahead to the future, what are some potential opportunities that excite you about new uses for soy?
Well, you always hear about the farmers want to push the pile, and one opportunity we have right now is soy firefighting foam. So we can use that flour meal into this product, and it gets rid of the PFAS, the forever chemicals that's right now in the firefighting foam that's currently on the market. And this is just a win-win for us, not only for the firefighters, for the environment, but for soybean growers to have a new market for their beans.
A great story there with the new firefighting foam that was developed from soy flour and should have a lot of positive benefits. Again, my guest today, Susan Watkins, Secretary of the United Soybean Board. Today's update brought to you by the Ohio Soybean Council and your Soybean Checkoff. Let's check in with Dale Minyo now and get an update on things going on out at the Ohio State Fair.
This Ohio State Fair livestock show schedule update brought to you by Farm Credit Mid-America. Let's first jump into the open class. August 1st in the sheep barn, Suffolk, Tunis, all other breeds, and Shropshire. August 2nd, Dorsets, Cheviots, and Monadales. In the dairy barn, Guernsey and Jersey heifers on the 1st. August 2nd will be Jersey, Guernsey, and Brown Swiss cows. August 2nd in the rabbit barn is the big open show for the ARBA sanctioned show, so be sure to check that out. Also then, on the junior side of things, on the 1st, we'll see the Market Hog Final Drive that gets underway at 7 p.m. August 2nd, the Market Beef Show Final Drive gets underway at 6:30. And in the Dairy Feeder Show, there'll be a show on Saturday, August 2nd at 5 p.m. All that's left at the Ohio State Fair, you can still find online at ohiostatefair.com.
And thanks, Dale. Well, if you're headed out to the State Fair today, one of the many county fairs, the Antique Farm Equipment Show, or the Manure Expo, you may want to pay attention to what the weather's doing. Let's get an update on that weather forecast brought to us by Seed Consultants. Simply better performance online at seedconsultants.com.
Showers and thunderstorms working their way through Ohio today. I'm Chief Meteorologist Ryan Martin. Let's take a look at that Ohio Ag Weather Update. Your Thursday features plenty of shower and thunderstorm action. We may backload it more into the afternoon and evening over a large part of the state, but it's still coming. If we backload it into the afternoon and evening, I can also tell you it's going to work after midnight and probably still be lingering near sunrise in central and southeastern parts of the state tomorrow morning. But still, we have beautiful weather coming behind it. Before we get to that, let's talk moisture here. I think we have to look at anywhere from 1/4 to 1.5 inches of rain from this over the next 24 to 48 hours. Again, everything's probably done by midday to late morning tomorrow, but we'll allow a little bit of a longer tail. That's what we have moisture-wise coming through, and it's really starting later this afternoon into this evening. Now, going forward again, we hinted at the weekend. It's beautiful. Canadian high pressure settles in tomorrow over the upper Midwest, goes through the Great Lakes over the weekend. We feel all of that. Temperatures pulling back, quite comfortable on humidity, low humidity values all the way through. Even into next week, Monday, Tuesday, humidity values stay low as temperatures start to climb higher. We're looking at a beautiful beautiful setup here. Great drying, excellent time to be outside. Second part of next week may actually be dry as well, just a little bit more humid. I'm not seeing a lot of pop-up thunderstorm action for that Wednesday afternoon, Thursday, Friday time frame right now, holding most of that off until getting into later Saturday and Sunday. I'm Ryan Martin.
Thanks, Ryan. Stay tuned. We'll be back with more after this.
Hey, Ohio! Don't wait! The Ohio State Fair is here now through Sunday, August 3rd. Experience fair favorites like the Butter Cow, livestock animals, shopping, delicious food, exciting entertainment, thrilling rides, competitions, and so much more. Make memories that will last a lifetime at the Ohio State Fair through August 3rd. Get your tickets at ohiostatefair.com.
When you're buying seed, there's more to a transaction than money. You're exchanging time and trust, hoping each decision adds up at harvest. Seed consultant sales professionals don't take that lightly. With products made to excel in the Eastern Corn Belt and agronomic knowledge that stands up to the test, we're all about the same things you are: reliability and results. Buy into a better seed experience. Visit seedconsultants.com to view our corn and soybean lineup.
Taking a quick look at your agricultural headlines, yesterday, U.S. Department of Agriculture Deputy Secretary Stephen Vaden vigorously defended the Trump administration's proposal to reorganize the Agriculture Department at a Senate Ag Committee hearing. President Donald Trump made clear his second term would include relocating the sprawling federal bureaucracy to locations outside the nation's capital region. Vaden said in his testimony the department's July 24 memorandum begins to deliver on this promise and does so in a way that right-sizes the USDA footprint, eliminates unnecessary management layers, consolidates redundant or duplicative functions, and most importantly allows USDA to deliver on its mission to the American people within the bounds of its available financial resources. Now, Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins released a reorganization memorandum back on July 24th that includes closing the USDA's South Building and the Beltsville Agriculture Research Center and moving 2,600 of the 4,600 USDA positions in Washington to regional hubs in Raleigh, North Carolina, Kansas City, Missouri, Indianapolis, Indiana, Fort Collins, Colorado, and Salt Lake City, Utah. Vaden submitted one page of testimony but delivered a short opening statement and then spent the next 2 hours answering questions from members of the committee. Vaden had been at USDA for only 3 weeks but served as USDA General Counsel in the first Trump administration. The Rollins memo delegates to the Deputy Secretary all authorities necessary to implement the USDA reorganization plan. Asked repeatedly why the Trump administration had not given the committee advance notice of the reorganization, Vaden said that he understands the Constitution, but said there was a thought behind that the employees are the ones most affected by the decision. They should hear about it first, not a leak from somewhere else. Now, Vaden said that a statutory required 30-day comment period on the reorganization began the day Rollins released the memorandum on the reorganization. That means the comment period will end in late August. Vaden said the USDA is conducting the reorganization under a 1953 law. The number one reason that the Trump administration has chosen the 5 hub locations is the cost of living, Vaden said. He explained that decisions through the, quote, story of Ralph Linden, currently the USDA acting general counsel. He said Linden had moved to the Washington area in 1982 and bought a house in suburban Virginia. At that time, the other residents were government employees, but today the houses cost 7 figures, and Linden's neighbors are now 2-income households composed of doctors, lawyers, and lobbyists. In the hub communities, government employees will be able to afford homes and grow and expand their families, Vaden said. In other agricultural headline news, the Union Pacific and Northern Southern Corporation railroad mergers are making a lot of waves and catching the attention of agriculture. The National Grain and Feed Association said in a news release that it will undertake an extensive evaluation of the proposed merger to better understand its implications for the industry. About 3.2 million rail cars of grains, oil seeds, and other agricultural products will move by rail on an annual basis, representing more than 10% of all rail shipments. 26% of grain has at least one rail movement, said the president. It's an important partnership between America's rail carriers and the National Grain and Feed Association, with hundreds of members that help to deliver and transform America's harvest into the bounty that feeds and fuels the country and the world. The association will also undertake extensive analysis and discussion with its members to determine the impact on cost and competitiveness for American agriculture. Stay tuned. We'll be back to take a look at your markets after this.
Get the equipment and trucks you need at the Ritchie Brothers' next Great Lakes Regional event on August 7th and 8th. This absolute unreserved auction will feature online bidding, and items are located in Columbus, Chicago, and Detroit. Choose from close to 1,000 items, including a wide selection of construction equipment, truck, tractors, and more. Don't miss Ritchie Brothers' Great Lakes Regional event on August 7th and 8th. For more details, visit rbauction.com. Again, that's rbauction.com.
Well, a quick reminder, be sure to check out ohioagnet.com. That's our website with all the great state fair coverage. You can hear from all the winners of the different classes, and if you tune in coming up on Sunday afternoon at 1 o'clock, you'll get to view a live cast of the Ohio State Fair Sale of Champions. Always a good time for a great cause. Of course, money going to the winners, but also thousands of dollars awarded in scholarships to other exhibitors. Now, after the state fair, we're not going to give our Ohio AgNet and Country Journal team much of a break, because next week on Tuesday and Wednesday is the Ohio Crop Tour, sponsored by the Ohio Field Leader. That's a project of the Ohio Soybean Council and your soybean checkoff dollars. Joel, Brianna, and myself will be leading two different teams crisscrossing the state, taking a look at corn and soybean fields to try and determine as best as possible what we think that yield will be when the crop finally matures. I anticipate a lot of variability across the state and the different counties based on what planting dates were, when those rains fell, if crops had to be replanted, and what pollination looked like for the corn crop and flowering in the soybeans. We'll be sharing updates throughout the 2 days on radio, on our website, and of course through social media. Be sure to tune in. It's time now to get an analysis on what's going on in the markets, brought to us by the Louis Dreyfus Company. They're excited to be building the newest state-of-the-art soybean crush facility in Upper Sandusky, Ohio. You can call 574-566-2113 for information on marketing your soybeans to LDC.
Grain markets finished the Wednesday session mixed. Corn and wheat were in the green slightly in Kansas City and Minneapolis. Chicago actually finished lower. And then the soybean market just took a dump for the Wednesday session, down anywhere from 13 to 14 cents. Bean market is in trouble, in my opinion. Let's talk about yesterday. Volume was lacking in pretty much every commodity. The beans were down because we did not come out of that 2-day meeting with Chinese authorities in Stockholm with anything. Now, what we did come out with was an expectation, and actually both delegations said there is likely going to be an extension or a further delay of implementing the full tariffs, but that needs to be signed off on President Trump's side, and Trump has not given any indication as to how long said delay will be. Going into the meetings, folks were talking 90 days, but that's not assured at all. So the lack of China demand is probably the biggest thing that has tanked the soybeans overall. U.S. dollar also rallying sharply in recent days as President Trump has relented on his assault on Fed Reserve Chairman Powell. Dollar index chart shows a trend line held with a reversal forming into the end of July. A good U.S. dollar is going to be making U.S. goods more costly to the export market at the same time that import costs are increasing due to tariffs. So it's a kind of a bad scenario. You put that together, the strengthening dollar with the lowering of tax rates in Argentina, and we are spelling out here that there is no chance of soybeans or even corn, but soybeans coming out of the U.S. fall, going to China or anywhere else. Argentina continues to sell Brazil. We're hearing 30 cargoes at least over the course of the past week have been sold to China. The U.S. is just out. Brokers indicate that funds are net buyers of corn on the Wednesday trade. 1,200 contracts of wheat bought, sold 3,200 contracts of soybeans. I'm Ryan Martin.
Thanks, Ryan. Let's take a look at how your markets closed, brought to us by Seed Consultants. Simply better performance online at seedconsultants.com. Well, September corn closed up 2.5 cents, and December corn was up 1 1/4. September soybeans closed down 13 3/4 cents, while November soybeans were down 13 3/4. September Kansas City wheat closed the day up 3.5 cents, while September Chicago wheat was down 6 cents, and September Minneapolis wheat was down 1/4 penny. Now in the overnight trade, September corn is trading up 1/4 penny at $3.92. December new crop corn is unchanged at $4.12 1/4. August soybeans are trading up 4 3/4 cents at $9.72 1/2 cents, while November new crop beans are up 3/4 penny at $9.96 1/4. And wheat for September is trading up 1/4 penny, $5.24. In livestock at the close, August live cattle were up $3.35 at $233.07 1/2 cents. August lean hogs closed down 22.5 cents at $107 2.5 cents. This is the Ohio AgNet.